welcome to another stream this Sunday. Hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to log on really and just talk about the recent, news in terms of the last week and how many gatekeepers are really taking the center stage right now, as always. Yeah, and more so it's gonna be just like a chill stream. I have more questions for you guys than decodes in this one. So if you have any ideas of how this is, going to pan out in the next weeks or months or years, do let me know. Okay, so basically what we have here is another recap of what went down last week, and obviously, the ties, the decodes that everybody's been collecting. Obviously, these are what we collectively found last week. Charlie Kirk masonry happened on the day before 9/11 and sudden death during the blood moon. And as a recap of the whole footage, I'm just gonna show you a few clips I found off Instagram, and obviously the first one is the mainstream version of it. So this is kind of obvious footage that's just now, everything that we've been through hundreds of times. It's just good to see again. And all the, concerning evidence surrounding the bodyguards movements right there. And how when they took him out, there was no blood. I mean, there's really no blood coming out, which is unusual for someone with an open wound on their neck, right? And then we've got other decoders doing a really good job pointing out everything. So this is a recap
and stamped by the parasites at the top. Literally cannot get any more obvious at this point. Took them exactly 33 hours to get this guy. 33 hours. 33 hours. Yeah. Okay. When you put the word neck in gematria, it equals 33. Trump's first day in office to September 10th is exactly 33 weeks and 3 days. From Charlie Kirk's birthday to September 10th, 47 weeks. 47's chilling here. 4 plus 7 in numerology is 11. 11 plus 11 plus 11 is 33. The Freemason compass. The 33rd degree Freemasons, the highest ranking Freemasons in the world that control everything. This is the compass they use, and it's 47 degrees. Didn't take them 31 hours. Didn't take them 34 hours or 32. It's 33 hours exactly. Okay. You guys recognize this logo? The United Nations, the people that control our world, our whole entire world. They pass bills and laws that we don't even get a say in. Look how many sections that they've sectioned this off. 33.
And even some more of the backstory with him.
Seriously think Charlie Kirk was actually speaking out for the greater good? Then you have no idea how the world actually works. Here's him right here, praying to that wall. We all know what that wall is. He made an oath because he's not serving the people. He's serving the people in charge of the world. He's a Freemason. So look at the 3 hats that they had there. 47, 4 plus 7 is 11, then 11 times 3 is 33. 33rd degree Freemasonry. Could that just be a coincidence? I don't think so. There's really no coincidences when it comes to everything we see in the media age. Broken down in reverse numerology, the full reduction is 33. And he was wearing a shirt that says freedom. And isn't it odd how it's black and white? Especially with the incident with the girl on the bus. They want black against white. They want red against blue. Do you think that's predictive programming? Maybe I'm being far-fetched, but have you seen the videos where he's being interviewed and the guy's like, hypothetically, if you were to be killed, what would you want your legacy to be like? And it was like not that long before it actually happened.
So we've been through that. The last video we've done think is pretty conclusive, but I did want to include this recap just so like we're back on the same topic.
Kirk's open casket, and I need you guys to have a real eye here. Look at her ring. Look at them hands. Why is everything seeming so fake right now? Why would you film yourself grieving over your loved one? Why would you film that anyway? But nonetheless, that hand isn't real. Oh, look at that ring as well. Did you see that? Let me show you. So she seems to have a massive G, a ring on her finger. Why would she have a G? Her fellow was called Charlie Kirk. That's CK. Why would she have a big G? We know what the big G is, don't we? I wonder if it has any connection to the number 33 that they keep having pop up all over the media about this Charlie Kirk event.
Did you notice J.D. Vance deliberately lowering Charlie Kirk's coffin? The story behind it is heartbreaking. In the footage, the coffin stays tilted at about 30 degrees, and J.D. Vance keeps pressing down with his hand, as if controlling the angle.
That's weird. Hey y'all in the comments, nice to see y'all. The hands in the coffin raised my eyebrow, yeah. It definitely looks like a mannequin, and somebody ran it through ChatGPT, and even GPT was confirming that it just doesn't look real. Alphabet Cat says Owen's husband is George Farmer, a former member of the Bullingdon Club. Oh yeah, okay. Enrico says Owens is in it up to her neck. It's also weird. This coffin thing I hadn't seen, but yeah, apparently there's some like thing about them tilting it at 30, but he kept so it says, why did JD Vance hold the coffin at a 33-degree angle? Like he kept pushing it down. I'll just replay that section. It's so weird.
Notice J.D. Vance deliberately lowering Charlie Kirk's coffin? The story behind it is heartbreaking. In the footage, the coffin stays tilted at about 30 degrees.
So it's about 30 degrees, but he keeps pushing it down, obviously, to get to that 33-degree mark. So weird, honestly.
And J.D. Vance keeps pressing down with his hand, as if controlling the angle. Some criticized him for being disrespectful, even suggesting he was out of line. But the truth is very different.
The truth is very different. They were showing the world the 33-degree angle that they worship because that is what this situation was, an elite control of manipulation. You know, just like here on the famous photo that was pushed all over the media after the Charlie Kirk shooting that had the 47, 47, 47, which is 4 plus 7 is add all of the alphabet half it. That G is a massive symbol and they know it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if I was wearing a ring right now that said G on it, I would be getting comments left, right, and center asking if I was a Freemason, right? So we can question the big G because there is a, you know, a very questionable situation going on right here, especially when the hands of the deceased are looking like a fake person, not a real deceased body. And the propaganda of just filming it and crying over it just to get millions and millions of views definitely screams alarm bells for me. But obviously...
Yeah. So the next slide is basically more of Charlie, but yeah, I'll let it load. Okay, so this is new. I didn't cover this last video because it hadn't been trending yet. So this just trending just a few days ago, really. And so I'll let it play, but you guys have probably seen it by now. It's basically that the courtyard's been being remodeled.
Are they doing? Because I see a lot of construction smoke going on. Oh no, they are constructing. They are taking out the whole platform where he was sitting, and they are constructing a new one, as you can see. So that's what the change is. And guess what? The killer was there and there was a video taken from here, and that's where you see a killer running behind in the background.
So yeah, just a few days after Charlie Kirk was shot, construction has gone underway pretty quick for an investigation that's still underway. The next video I have is like kind of explains it a bit more. why they would do that. So this one says this is a cover-up. They don't want any chances of anyone testing the blood, quote unquote, to see if it's real. And I was like, oh shit, that actually, okay, now I understand why they do it. So remove the entire floor, or somebody might take a DNA swab and find out that it's fake blood. I'm like, holy shit, like why else would they freaking do this? This is insane. Like, yeah, it's tampering with a crime scene, and we'll get to Cameragate in a bit, but yeah, and then it goes on to say research CO2 powered blood squib. You can see the entire kit under Charlie Kirk's shirt, hose pipe and all. So this is under the impression, like, this goes to show more evidence that it was fake blood, that he's not actually dead, and that he's living somewhere else. And we'll get to like what the FBI director said as well, because he kind of also made this weird comment that he might still be alive.
Down from the roof, where are all the people that are running? Like, where are the people? I'm confused. Everyone's running in this clip in this direction, and now it's like, this is like 40 seconds, and he has not encountered one person that's running in the opposite direction, or anyone that even seems remotely excited.
That is true. What do you guys think of this footage? Because some people were saying that he can't even, like, where was the gun? Like, sure, maybe he dismantled the gun, but I think a lot of like gun experts were saying that even if he dismantled, it's like a giant piece of machinery, and all he had was this tiny backpack. So I don't know about this clip. It's so weird, but Gigi says it was so clearly staged. Even the great unwashed can see. It is crazy that, like, how viral this has gotten, and I'm wondering why they're letting it go this viral. Maybe they're trying. I mean, again, this is a stream asking you guys questions, because I think only collectively are we really going to be, figuring it out. So I'm curious what you guys think, why they're allowing this to happen. But like, this is what the FBI director Kash Patel said in the basically like his goodbye, or like a sentimental quote to Charlie Kirk, but it's weird.
And weirder. So right at the end of this press conference where Kash Patel announces that they caught Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, Kash Patel ends it with Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Now, what's interesting is that one of the pictures that they put out of Tyler Robinson shows Tyler Robinson in his bedroom next to his computer. On the computer is a picture of an island. That island is called Goat Island, and it's located in New Zealand, that has a retreat called Valhalla. Isn't that weird?
Somebody needs to go to Valhalla and check what's going on. That's a wild conclusion. I mean, obviously it's kind of far-fetched, but man, I would not be surprised if they are sneaking in some, codes and like that. Go Island. Oh yeah, you're right, Gigi. That is a sacrificial lamb. Insane. Okay, so a bit more laughing out loud. Well, the whole internet is making fun of this right now, is that there's this FBI text. Well, everybody keeps saying, sorry, that wrong link. That is the FBI text message. The FBI generated these text messages between Tyler Robinson and his lover, which I don't know if I put it in here, but yeah, trans lover equals Jesuit order. So let me type that into the calculator really quick. I think I have it in the next slide, but so yeah, they're trying to make us believe that this was a text message between him and his trans lover. And we broke down how Turning Point equals the Jesuit order, and if you're new here, the Jesuit order is an army of the Catholic Church, basically. So the fact that turning point equals the Jesuit order, turning point, and now we're getting another major basically news clipping that equals Jesuit order. It's like so suspicious, right? But you don't even need gematria to find this suspicious, because everybody's been saying how weird the text messages are. It just doesn't make any sense. So Tyler Robinson was, oh, first of all, newsflash, he was also like into MAGA, or yeah, he voted MAGA. So this is his voting, what do you call it? Like receipt. And he was registered to the Republican Party, which is so weird. And then conservatives, now that they know Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter is a white man from a Republican family raised with guns, has a cop dad and military family. I guess they don't want the Civil War that early, because they could have easily made him, or had chosen somebody who was actually trans. Wait, sorry, I jumped the gun. It's here. Okay, so trans lover, again, Jesuit order. So these are the texts here. The killer's text with trans lover released. And again, anytime they're using these quotes and these catchphrases, it's just obvious propaganda. Okay, so you guys, have you read this? It's ridiculous. Drop what you were doing, look under my keyboard. What? You're joking, right? I'm still okay, my love. But I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer. Shouldn't be long until I can come home. But I gotta grab my rifle still, to be honest. Okay, first of all, if you're like assassinating somebody, wouldn't you be smart enough, like if you can basically like shoot someone from miles away and do it properly, like actually get somebody and on the first try, wouldn't you be smart enough if you can jump off of I don't know how high, like at least like 20 feet high roof? Wouldn't you know that like you're not meant to text anybody, because the FBI will get a hold of your receipts? Like, how? It just doesn't make sense. How come he's that intelligent but also that stupid? But anyway, he's basically confessing everything here in his text messages. I had hoped to keep this a secret till I died of old age. You weren't the one who did it, right? First of all, also on this other person's end, wouldn't you be like, why? That's not how somebody would react if someone you were dating just confessed to killing somebody. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why did I do it? Yeah. Just sending one-liners. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated. It's so cringe. If I am able to grab my rifle and seen, I have left no evidence. I will have left. Okay, so he like thought about all the evidence that he's not leaving behind, only to compromise himself and directly leak his entire motive and all his, what he did that day. I haven't seen anything about finding them. Okay, how long have you been planning that? Okay, so even like just everything the FBI would need to know, he's just data dumping right here. A bit over a week, and we know that's BS because we've found so many conclusions with date numerology that's just absolutely impossible for somebody to have thought of this within a week because of the 666 numerology between people's dates. I can get closer to it, but there's a squad car parked, blah, blah, blah. I'm wishing I had circled back. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring, what my old man would do. I didn't even know if it had a serial number, but it would have been traced to me. I worry about Prince. So he's out here just like data dumping how terrified he is of all this evidence and then leaking text messages. Delete this exchange. Oh my god. I'm gonna turn myself in willingly. You are all I worried about. Don't talk to the media. Somebody made this meme, these few memes.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. I should probably get the heck out of Dodge, but first, let me text my leftist trans lover every detail of what I just did and why. Been planning for a week. Engraved the bullets. Disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle, disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle, disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle without a screwdriver while running. Put it in the woods, covered it in a towel. I did this for you. And send. All right. It's a good thing that I, Tyler Robinson, someone who has a 4.0 GPA and a 34 on the ACT, is smart enough to know that there is no way that the FBI could ever get a hold of my text messages.
He nailed it. But also people are pointing out the words that are being
My
used.
modular cellular device. Oh. Yes, I see the vehicle is parked. If I see that on CNN, I'm gonna lag out so hard. Wait, if I see that on CNN, I might have a stroke. How do I say I am thirsty like an FBI agent would say it? Okay. I require hydration. Requesting water intake right now.
Yeah, so you get the point. I did skip over the last two, so let me just go back, because I think what I missed was the fact that somebody pointed this out in the chat already, but so his dad is connected to, I don't know, well, first of all, they did drop the charges. Oh, no, sorry, Tyler does deny the charges even after those text messages were leaked. Where I'm trying to get to the fact that Kirk's dad worked on Trump Towers. If it'll ever load. Okay, it's deciding not to. Yeah, but did you guys hear that rumor? Okay, Kirk's dad. Oh my, I probably have it here. Let me pull it up over here, but for now, I'll play this.
Not cooperating.
The suspect has not been cooperating so far. There are a couple things that we can confirm that have been reported.
But apparently, he did confess to unaliving Charlie in a small chat on Discord. Okay. But hear this. According to Kash Patel, there was a note in his house that was destroyed. Okay. But then forensics recovered it, which says that he has the opportunity to take out Charlie, and he's going to take it. Convenient.
We now have learned existed before the shooting was in the location in the suspect says.
Oh my god, he's insufferable. I cannot with Kash Patel. He's like, there's no soul behind his eyes. I found the video anyway.
On Trump Towers, can you find anything on this? Of course I can. Charlie Kirk's dad, Robert Kirk, is the sole owner, founder, CEO, and president of Group A Architecture, Inc. And he is also the president at Group A Architects, which is another company, but they're connected. The architectural and engineering service company was originally founded in 1985 under the name Kirk Plus Partners, but it has since changed. According to multiple sources, his father, Robert Kirk, was one of the architects who was involved in creating Trump Tower. This is just from the Wikipedia page. There are a bunch of other articles, but most of them are paywall, so I didn't want to share those ones. Another fun fact is that Charlie Kirk's dad, Robert, was one of the largest donors for Mitt Romney. Charlie Kirk came from money, okay? Another fun fact is that Charlie Kirk's mom was a stock trader for CME for years, but she has since made the switch from stock trading. But she has since made the switch from the stock exchange and now works in the mental health and psychology industries.
Kirk's dad worked on Trump Towers. What? Okay, so he's obviously like Charlie Kirk grew up. That's why the matches with masonry make so much more sense. Like, he wasn't just some guy off the street that suddenly like created a philanthropic entrepreneur mission. No, like he grew up probably a Mason, like 100%. So yeah, now we're on the part where there's this you know, like basically he said some things that just were pre-programming, and they don't really sit right nowadays. Let me bring it up because the link's being a bit weird. You've probably heard this already, but he said this.
That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block. I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed. And I think that would be justice. You think children should have, you should see it? What is the age? At what age should you start to see public executions?
16. I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12, whenever 6th grade or so. You are a person, you know, they're old enough to, you don't need to like really wallow in it and have them be broken on a wheel or anything. But if it was something like chopping, you know, if we had a guillotine or something.
I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day. I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see.
That's not right. It almost feels like he was given that talking point that day. The way he opened it up for conversation too. It's almost like they told him, or yeah, he probably told him to talk about this so that it would be pre-programming for his own situation. And obviously I don't condone what he said, but I don't condone anything happening because of what he said either. It's just the curious situation that it's like pre-programming. That's what it is. It's important to point it out. And then there's this one that he also did say about the gun violence. This one's been circulating too.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. But I think it's worth it.
Now
I think it's worth
ever, because I was so new to Charlie Kirk. I mean, even in like the last episode, I didn't know his backstory. I thought he was more of a free agent than I had realized. Like I saw that decode with masonry, but I still didn't realize that he came from such extreme wealth and ties to the government. And now it's like I'm looking at this from a complete, like, this is so obviously like constructed from years ago, the path that would, you know, the path that would take for him. Alphabet Cat says, was he even assassinated? Was it staged? Yeah, we just looked at evidence that it seems that it was fake blood and they're trying to cover it up. And yeah, he might, you know, that Valhalla comment is very strange. We'll see you in Valhalla. So the fact is that nobody seems that perturbed about it. Not even Trump, not even his wife. King Nico, such a great stream. Oh, thanks so much for joining here. Massive channel. So it's such an honor that you're here, honestly. Thank you for showing up. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, King Nico, you have such a great perspective of, you know, an impulse on what is going on and what this is all for. But we were just mentioning how it just seems like, especially with these quotes, and how he's so perfectly groomed ever since he was little, and having such a rich father, it seems like he was either given these quotes, or it seems like he was given these quotes to say to like be this kind of generation pusher that they needed to. And he's also said more terrible things. Again, I don't condone violence at all. I do believe in free speech, but it's important to point out the things he said and the controversies and the hypocrisy. Here's one of him flipping the script on his Epstein stance.
Need to be released yesterday. I think the Epstein files need to be released yesterday. We need to know every single person and get the Epstein client list out immediately.
1 hour later.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
Yes, you are, Charlie Kirk. It's a good boy.
I think the Epstein files need to be released yesterday.
So, mad hypocrisy there. I don't really know how MAGA's taking this, because how could you even support him if he's flip-flopping like this? And then, come on, he doesn't even believe
the Epstein files need to be released yesterday.
Listen to this one. He really does not believe that 9/11 was a hoax. He actually I don't know how recent this is, but it looks kind of recent. So I'm imagining that this is how he believed towards the end of his days. He is arguing that 9/11 is not a hoax, that it was actually what they tell us in the media. And it's like, ugh, dude, come on, really?
That the Jews run the American government.
That's not a secret, Charlie.
Well, no, I find it hilarious that
all of Trump's cabinet is Jewish. Converted to Judaism or Catholicism. They all have an AIPAC advisor. Not a single person in Congress can make a decision without asking their Israeli Jewish AIPAC advisor if it's okay to say.
The entire list.
Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did. Wow.
Why are we in the middle? I served. Why were we in the Middle East?
Well, I mean, you can,
why were we in the Middle East?
You can reject involvement in the Middle East without also believing Israel did 9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA. CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain.
So I'm just curious. Oh, man, and again, it's just creeping me out that he's talking about 9/11, and of course his whole assassination, quote unquote, happened the day before 9/11. I'm just like, what's going on? Because is he here? He's obvious. Oh man, it's just, I wish I was there. Charlie is younger than me, so I almost feel like, sit down, man. I mean, he's already sitting down, but it's like, bro, come on. Like, how can he be so be awarded for being such a free thinker and into conspiracies and controversies, but he's sitting here like being freaked out that somebody's pointing out that 9/11 was a hoax? Like, it's like, come on. It's creeping me out watching this, to be honest, because, like, what is he trying to truth drop something about 9/11 here? We'll talk about Israel in a bit when we get to Candace.
Least without also believing Israel did 9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA. CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the building's imploded.
Okay,
if a plane's going to hit a building, why would the building fall down?
Time out. Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush was targeted because they wanted to cover up Bush's involvement.
So
he just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they were reading a sign on a whiteboard
let me say
that talked about towers falling, Charlie.
Anti-Semitism.
We have been lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, let me tell you. Anti-Semitism is literally a brain cancer, as you could see.
How is this anti-Semitic, Charlie? How is it anti-Semitic?
How is it anti-Semitic?
How am I hating on Jews when I'm saying that they...
You keep interrupting me. Israel
That's fair,
did
I'm sorry.
9/11 is a rather anti-Semitic thing to say. Explain to me Flight 93 and the families aboard that lost their loved ones. Who actually was the hijacker? Was it a Mossad agent?
No.
Okay, who was it?
So as you can see, he is a trained gaslighter. Like, wow. Charlie gets some red pills and can't handle it. Thank you. Yeah, Alphabet Cat, exactly. It's like, what? Bro, come on. Oh, man. Okay, let's talk about Erika Kirk for a second, because I've been down this rabbit hole for a minute, and I love gossip. Wait, did I cover this? So obviously she was Miss Arizona, a Miss Arizona Jesuit order. Obviously they founded. She wasn't a co-founder, but she got added pretty early, so to Turning Point as well. And now she's CEO, of course. So the Jesuit order here. And yes, she went to Regis University, which was funded by the Jesuits. And she is a Catholic. Pretty sure she still is. Okay, so here's the whole hidden agenda, which I feel like not a lot of the mainstream media is talking about. And I don't think many people outside of the Gematria community even know about the Jesuits, but everybody knows about the Jews. And my friend was saying, if it's in the mainstream media and they're all pointing at Israel and the Jews, it's like something's not adding up, because if it's mainstream, you got to question it. So this is a good alternative to place the blame, right? And so I was digging and I couldn't believe it, right? But okay, let me break this down because it's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm like so excited to explain this because I have to pause it somehow. Guys, how do I pause this? Okay, whatever. I'll just keep replaying it. So they met in 2018. They had their first date around early September. And so you could basically say that they've been dating for a whole 7 years, and 7 years is 84 months. Okay, Jesuit equals 84. Now, I wholeheartedly believe, because, you know, he was quite rich, that he groomed her and he chose her. She's a very beautiful woman, so why wouldn't you? So yeah, basically, I think he groomed her, right? And he took her on a date. I'll play the video so you can see. He took their first date to Bill's Burgers, guys. Bill's Burgers equals Jesuit order. So I'm like, okay, first of all, Turning Point equals the Jesuit order. Like, we established that, right? We established that. Let me here. Turning Point, right? So that's interesting. If your company has the number of the Jesuit, I mean, everybody in Gematria knows that there's only really 2-3 big numbers for the Jesuits. The main one is 177. So if your company has the branded number 177, you best believe you're getting funded by them. And now you could also say UK, US Masonry. That's also true. Right? But primarily this is a Jesuit number. And yes, the Jesuits are working with the Masons. If you're not aware, the Illuminati was founded by a former Jesuit. So yes, and the Illuminati then infiltrated all the Masonic lodges. So you can have a Illuminati, Masonic, Jesuit conspiracy, and it all makes sense because they're all contracted to each other, basically. But what I wanted to point out, and I'll show it now, is the video of how they met, and you'll see for yourself that it's just so weird and doesn't add up to the fact that they, where is it? Oh my god, I've got so many freaking tabs open. But let me put but I got too excited, guys, because I was down this rabbit hole. So yeah, they've been together for here. I'll just pull up the article because I can't find the video right now. But if you look at the article, then here. So here you'll see that it's just talking about where they first met. 1 second, let me find it. Okay, so 5 years ago today, we sat inside Bill's Burgers. So I'm not making this up. They're like so quick to point this out. So this guy flew out there to meet her and ask her to be his girlfriend, basically. So if you put that into the calculator, Bill's Burgers right there. Bill's Burgers. Why would this guy take her to the Bill's Burgers in specific when Bill's Burgers equals Jesuit Order and Turning Point equals the Jesuit Order, and they met because of Turning Point? It's like, and they met 7 years, which is 84 months before he was assassinated. Like 84 equals Jesuit. Like, that's so suspicious. Like, sorry, but like I can't unsee it at this point. All I can see now is that they're basically were being funded since the beginning by the Jesuits, that he chose her to be his wife / handler and to be the next successor for his company. And I think he knew, I honestly, the more I look at this, I think he knew what was going to happen to him from quite a while ago, and he chose her for this specific reason, to carry it on. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So let's see, the next slide is basically yeah, she might be a honeypot. So a honeypot, you guys know what that is, right? It's basically a few things. It can mean a few things, but in this case, it points to a handler. I'll play it.
Erika Kirk is a honeypot, or the Christian conservative wife that we have seen her being all these years. People have been claiming she may be a honeypot since they started dating. And if you don't know what a honeypot is, it's beautiful, usually very intelligent women who are intentionally put next to a man in rising power or is already in a place of power as a way to control them, motivate them, keep them on the course, basically. People who put these two people together want her to keep him going on that track. The more you find out about Erika Kirk, it's interesting to see the honeypot theory. 5 years older than him, she was a double major, had a doctorate, law degree. Whenever she met him, she already had very successful careers. She was a beauty pageant queen. People know this. She's Miss Arizona. She ran for Miss USA, but she was also an athlete and had a very successful basketball career and was a member of the NCAA. She also...
Let me show y'all, because it's a bit easier to see when you have the B-roll. So I'm gonna show a news clip basically of
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement.
Well, this is
will continue.
Right after her, so you get an idea of what she looks like, right? But this is a news report about her.
It's the heart-wrenching moment Charlie Kirk's widow whispers her final goodbye to her slain husband.
Slain! Oh my God, what a choice of words. But this is who she was before, okay?
Arizona. Erika is no stranger to the spotlight. She is a former Miss Arizona.
And hold up for a second, because Miss Arizona, and again, she comes from a Jesuit college, right? So that's sus to begin with. But then the fact that, oh my God, it's so creepy how this all like pans out. But Miss Arizona also equals Jesuit order. Like, you can't even make this up at this point. They are, and she's Catholic. So Jesuit is, by extension, the army of the Pope. They are a Catholic order. Again, the founder of the Illuminati was a Catholic. So they basically infiltrated the Illuminati and Masonry and the Vatican and the world at this point, and they're kind of like the secret cult that runs the world. And I'm trying to find the calculator so I can pull it up again. Okay, so here we go, is the calculator, right? So if you put in, and again, I'm gonna put in where they met, Bill's Burgers. And just to double down on the fact that I'm not making that up, I did find the video, and I'll play it in a second. I'll play it in a bit, but okay. Anyway, Bill's Burgers, and then so if you put Miss Arizona. So what the hell here? Okay, their whole life. I'm gonna, right now the translover thing is not important. Just an order, Miss Arizona, they meet at Bill's Burgers. They meet because of Turning Point. It's like their whole life is contrived. Sorry, but Miss Arizona, like, are you kidding me? And she's a Catholic? And she went to a Jesuit university? Like, you can't be fooled. Look at her. She looks gorgeous, but also she looks like a trained actress.
Competing in the Miss USA pageant in 2012.
Erika 23, Arizona.
She also appeared on a dating show in 2019.
What? Oh, okay. She was on a dating show. So she's used to be on camera, used to playing a script. I mean, those dating shows are always contrived. She's used to the reality show of it all. So,
Season 3 of Bravo TV's Summer House.
Erika. She's beautiful, and she happens to be religious.
I think you're a bright light in a very dark place.
Now fate has pushed Erika into political prominence at a pivotal moment in America.
And again, that stream was only 48 hours after the event, so everybody's been freaking out about how fake it is, how she's laughing. And I have somebody, yeah, I'll just play it for a second.
So that he can be brought to justice.
She does make a few Freudian slips, like pretending that he's still alive, but it is 48 hours. But at the same time, like, everybody's just saying, like, how the hell could you even be functioning if your husband just got shot in front of millions of people in real life? I want to catch her smiling because she does smile a few times. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Show. Who helped him broadcast from this studio, this...
You could not make that up. This is so bad acting. So, yeah, this is the joke, really.
I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life. And I want to thank my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. Mr. President, my husband loved you.
I wish it was
and he knew that you loved him too. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. No, so go Ducks. Charlie loved his children. And he loved me. Mr. President, my husband loved you. Charlie loved his children. You guys, our God is so good. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination, they killed Charlie because he preached God's merciful love. The movement's not going any. If you want to get involved, go to tpusa.com.
It's the link at the end, dude. Like, make sure to subscribe.
If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. The Lord.
How does she have time to plug the website? Like, Jesus Christ is Lord. She carries the strength that God has given her. You can smile in extreme grief. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic. I might have some people actually commenting against this. Okay, what are you saying? You're evil. She's functioning because she's strong and the wife of a lion. Look, this is 48 hours. 48 hours after a horrific accident. You shouldn't, if you love Jesus Christ, if you respect your husband, if you're loyal to your husband, you should not be on national television taking any like, what do you call this, report online, any publicity. You should be in your house praying and keeping it personal. So I am a believer of Christ. I am a Christian. So it's really, to me, this is disrespectful. That's all I'm saying. Like, give it a week at least. Give it a week before you go on national television and start plugging in your websites. Because this is marketing. At the end of the day, it's like, would really Christ be wanting to market right now? Sorry, I am getting some comments that I did want to address. Okay, here is and again, I think a lot of people just don't understand that this is guys, you don't know the levels to this. This is what's scary, is like these people are fake Christians. They're lying to us. And again, let's go back to how they met, right? Let's go back to how they met. I will break this down for you so you can see how I've deduced that they are, Masons, okay?
At this office, Turning Point USA office.
So we met at the office opening, the Turning Point headquarters office opening, the first one, August 2018. And I had no idea what to expect because I was coming into the office from the standpoint of they were potentially going to hire me.
And I knew of Erika. I saw Erika. And we had a very brief meeting at the office. And then I had my first conversation with Erika.
He'll tell it differently, so I'll tell you from my side. I was in the Hamptons. I get a random DM on my phone. I have zero service when I'm out there, and all of a sudden this DM flashes up, and it's like, Charlie Kirk DM'd you. Because it's so Charlie. August 31st, 2018.
Let's take that date, right? So August 21st, 2018 is when they met. 2018. Don't forget that. 2018, right? I have a slide on this. So let me find it. Okay. August 31st, 2018 is when he sends her a DM. So it's a bit before September 10, right? What did she say? August 31st. So that's about 7 years, but they're not dating yet. They've not dated. He's just sent her a DM. So what they just said in that letter, in that video, is that they started dating, but they're gatekeepers. So they started dating because he saw her at Turning Point USA, right? Okay, so he saw her at Turning Point USA, which equals Jesuit order. And she's Miss Arizona. She probably former at that point. But he knew that she was a Catholic, and he valued that she's a religious person. But, keep in mind that the Jesuit order is a Catholic order. And she went to a Jesuit university. Okay. So he invites her he invites her, and I'll just let the video play a bit more, because you just saw that it was 2018. That's the main part here.
And this DM flashes up, and it's like, Charlie Kirk DM'd you. Because it's so Charlie. August 31st, 2018. Hey, shoot me a text at, and gave me his number.
August 31st, 2018. Hey, shoot me a text, and gave me his number. So he just gave her his number at that point.
I didn't respond for a few days.
I didn't respond for a few days. So they're not really together just yet.
I Instagram messaged her and said I urgently needed to meet with her. And she said, why? And it was partially a job interview and also partially something else.
So when I eventually messaged him back via text, I was like, hey, nice to officially meet you again. What did you want to talk about? Because it was so just random. And he was like, hey, I'm coming into town, into New York City. Let's meet at Bill's Burgers.
Let's meet at Bill's Burgers. So it was his idea to meet at Bill's Burgers. Again, you guys, like, why Bill's Burgers? Why would they even share that? Why even share that? And if you're sharing that, like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to get the calculator back up. Well, if you are sharing that, it must be for a reason. And the fact is that, well, what the okay, that's not how is this a coincidence? Bill's Burgers, he takes former Miss Arizona to Bill's Burgers, which he goes to Jesuit order, while the turning point, he goes to the Jesuit order. Bro, he has Jesuit money. He takes out a former Miss Arizona who went to a Jesuit university, who is a Catholic. And he takes her to a location on their first ever date, 144, right? And this is about 7 years, which is 84 months, and Jesuit equals 84. 84 months is 7 years, and 2018 is here. If you go in the calculator. Right now, she said 8/31st, 2018, but that's not the day that they went on their date. And so he passed allegedly on September 10th. Is that right? No, was it September? Yeah, it was a week ago. Okay, so this is about 84 months and 10 days, but they haven't gone on the date yet. So the closer it is to them going on a date, which is a fact that they went, sorry, the wrong way. They went on a date in September. Do you see that counting down? Do you see it counting down here? Just keep your eyes on this number. So the closer you put towards them meeting, and I have the real date, the real number of their date is actually September 5th, is 84 months. It's about 7 years. Okay, and they weren't officially dating, so who can say maybe they started dating? Maybe they started dating exactly 7 years, which is exactly 84 months. Jesuit 84. So around September 10 is when they started to make it official. So they started dating at this perfect time. And even the day that they went on their date to Bill's Burgers, "7 years, 5 days, exclude date." You know, that they gets you that 74. Masonic 74. Oh, by the way, so they go on this date to Bill's Burgers on September 5th. It'll show you in the video, but then he gives her 24 hours to make a decision if she wants to date him. So technically, she decides if she wants to date him the next day, which is exactly 7 years and 4 days. Masonic. So no matter which way you see it, like their meeting is really sus.
I've lived in Manhattan now for about 5 years. I've never eaten at Bill's Burgers before, so that I guess was a sign, like, let's take an adventure tonight for dinner and go find Bill's Burgers and meet your future husband that you have no idea is about to be your future husband.
And so then we had a great time, and it was about 15 minutes in, I quickly pivoted away from wanting to hire her to wanting to date her, and now we know how that worked quite well.
He got there first only because he was coming back from Fox and he kind of beat me there. And I got out of my taxi and we get our table, we sit down, and he orders. The thing that I love though is he was so sweet to the waitress. So that was something that I immediately noticed, that he was like really kind to them. And we ordered our food, and then that's when the grilling started happening. Like, that's when the interview process started happening. So I'm like, okay, this is a legit interview. Like, let's go. I'm glad I had my coffee. Like, I'm ready to debate you about Aristotle and Socrates, and you want to talk about theology? Let's do it.
Well, I've never met anyone quite like her. I remember I called Tyler and I said he's going to have to find talent somewhere else. And whatever opening he thought she would fill, that was not going to work. And Tyler was trying to coach me down because he said that she was way out of my league. And he's still right, by the way.
So after we got through literally half of the Constitution, going through why I'm living in New York and how I shouldn't be living in New York, and what my 5-year plan is, what success looks like to me, what I studied in college, why, it's like every topic you could imagine that is close to Charlie Kirk's heart is what we discussed and went through. When it was like 3.5 hours, and
3.5 hours, huh? 3.5. We started the video with how many 33s have been circulating. Now it's just like, yeah, we were there for 3.5 hours. What's 3.5 hours? 3:30.
And they were starting to close 33. Up, and he was finished with his burger, just sat there, and I'm like looking around, like, okay, did I get the job? Like, what's going on? I don't need the job, but did I get it? What's going on? And he goes, I'm not going to hire you. It's like, okay, well, thank goodness I didn't need the job because I'm already doing stuff here in Manhattan. He goes, I'm going to date you. And I kind of I froze. I mean, wouldn't you? I literally froze. I was just like, okay, was not expecting this at all. And I was like, do you want to how about we just be friends first? Like, see where it goes?
And I told her I had enough friends and that I didn't want to be friends with her. So that was kind of a non-starter. But if she wanted to date, that would be great. I had enough friends. And I think she still finds that to be very funny, but I meant it.
And without hesitation and like zero hesitation, he goes, I have enough friends in my life. So either we're going to date or we're not. Do I have any time to think about it? Yeah, you have until tomorrow night when I take you out.
Okay, so he gives her 24 hours, as you hear, and I finally found the post that told me what day they went on this date. So, okay, September 5th, she'd post 5 years ago today, we sat inside Bill's Burgers. So if you take this date, 5th of September, she confirms that it was 5 years ago on this date. So September 5th, that's what you put into the calculator. And so, where is it? Okay, so the calculator basically then confirms that he gave her 24 hours. So from September 5th to September 6th is when they officially started dating. But yeah, you get that 7 years and 4 days from the day that she had to tell him yes or no. Masonic. Okay. And again with the 84. Okay, so they started dating around September 10th, like officially. Again, that gives them 7 years, 84 months. So as you can see, them meeting all seemed to me, I mean, the numerology is so out there that it seems like she was a honeypot, and he groomed her to be. I don't think she was like this malicious person that had a plan out to get him. I think that Charlie was very famous, very wealthy. He comes from a wealthy family. And I think it was him that chose her, and probably whoever works with him. And he probably chose her to, you know, continue the movement by the numbers. It's so creepy. And just how much Jesuit infiltration. Now I have to really look into his father, because why is there so much Jesuit numerology with him? Like, what's this Catholic money doing? Like, I think we got these two down, so. Oh. Okay. So now let's talk about Candace. I'm very confused with what's going on with Candace movement. She says, I don't find anything wrong with her right now, other than she's obviously pushing that she has all these answers, when in fact she's just another gatekeeper. So I get that she's calling for unity and all that, but it's fine. But it's like, what's irritating is that she's just another gatekeeper. And I do want to play her video really quick, because she was talking about the camera gate, and she actually knows the guy who was involved with the camera gate, so I'll let her explain it. But I'll play it in a second. I have the video on YouTube, so it's probably better to play there here.
Look at him, and he is also the individual, as many of you pointed out, that was near Charlie or just before the assassination.
Okay, so she's talking about, well, I think she shows photos. Yeah, so.
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit, is what the security detail just said.
So a lot of truthers have already talked about this. So basically what's happening
Don't
is
worry, guys. We're going to get closer. But this is just a wide shot so you can see what's going on here, and then we'll get a bit closer. I know you guys have pulled apart this footage a million ways, and thank you for that. And here's the closer version of that. You can see, slowed down here, he pulls out the chair, he stands on it, and yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You don't move anything. He takes down the camera that is directly above where Charlie was sitting, and would be able to provide, therefore, a lot of insight. And then you can see he kind of sits the camera onto the desk, and it looks like he removes the SIM card from it, or the SD card, if you will, which we're watching right here.
So yeah, what the
So I'm going when I saw this footage. Who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out, because I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. The person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual. And I reach out to somebody on the inside, and I'm just like, who's this person? And they tell me the person's name, and I go, oh, wait a second. And I look again, I'm like, I know this person, because it's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time, for years. Like I said, back when I was working at Turning Point, early days. So I'm like, I'm just going to reach out. Obviously, I know this individual. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, hey, what's up with this? Where is this footage? Why did you do this? What were you doing up there on the rocks? What's up? Like, this is not the first thing that I would do if I had just witnessed Charlie Kirk being shot. And I'll say this right now, he was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number. And he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone. And first and foremost, I should say, obviously, he's seeing all of these clips going viral and he is fearful for his family. Doesn't have any security and people are looking, And he said, look, as you can see in the footage, I was sitting right to the left or to the left of Charlie when Charlie got shot. And I instantly knew that he was not going to be okay. I instantly knew that he was dead. And I then, as you can see, people that are running, anybody that was in that zone ran to the back and he caught his breath. He wanted to check in with and communicate to other people that were working with and around Turning Point USA. That's why he's on his phone, communicating to them what had happened. That's what he told me. Then I asked, okay, well, what about this camera thing? Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds, right? I'm like, no, we don't trust the feds. We don't got to do that. Just let me have the footage. I'm like, just send me the footage, please. Let me look at it. There's a lot of conspiracies that are floating around right now. People don't know what to believe. People are doing very, what I would say, credible videos. People that certainly have the credibility are ballistics experts that are saying that what we see in the front is an exit wound, not an entry wound. I don't know one way or the other because I'm not an expert. I'm getting inundated with messages from people that hunt, people that are in the military saying that this have come from another direction. This footage could help. If nothing else, let me help you. Let me formally debunk that by seeing this footage. Like, could you send this footage over to me? Well, he didn't want to send the footage over to me without checking with Turning Point lawyers. I said, look, technically, you own the footage. Like, you and some other people own the footage. Like, let me just see the footage because why go through lawyers? I just want to see the footage. And also, I asked the question, why not just release it? We've already seen the worst thing that you could possibly see from the front, right? Like the front is what is a traumatizing video. And I understand that he wants to afford his wife some protection. Like this has, to experience that, Erika, so many people watching the love of your life in the last second of their life is traumatizing. I'm traumatized by it, right? That's not my husband, the father of my children. And so out of a loyalty to Erika, he also doesn't want to give more footage to the internet. But I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it. And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm very serious about this. I don't care about anything right now other than figuring out who killed Charlie Kirk. So in the short run, he agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that and I watched the footage and I'm going to tell you what I saw. And to the people specifically, the people that are in the military, people that know weapons, I'm telling you this because you might be able to add more color or more clarity here, what you would expect to see. If given the weapon that they have said did this, the bullet they have said did this, I don't know anything about any of this. So I'm just telling you what I saw, okay? First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back. There is no blood.
Okay. So even she's putting out, her opinion, but she's seen the footage and she's saying that there's no blood. So that's more suspicious again. So I don't know. I think they're making her out to be this really trustworthy person, and her views have blown up in the past few days. She was getting like 1 mil on each video. Now it's jumped to like 6 mil or 10 mil. So she's probably somebody who they're trying to get exposure from this. But again, she is a Mason.
Club that you ain't in. All of them. All of them. And you know why they make that hand symbol? Because it looks like that. And that's the Freemason symbol. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what Candace Owens has to say about it. That's a funny looking symbol too. I wonder what that one means. Remember, they love the number 3. As in 1, 2, 3. Funny how they're both making it. He's the supposedly. Now let's hear from Candace.
Those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual.
Okay, tough girl.
Okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Oh.
You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company.
She's one of the Masons.
Did you guys catch that? She literally just said, I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. That is so funny. Again, the Jesuit order matches Turning Point, and the Jesuits infiltrated all the Masonic lodges through the Illuminati. Oh my God, it's right there. She just said it.
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Oh.
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point. It's Candace Owens is a Mason.
You put a shill in.
And you can't get on the TV unless you join the club. It's time to figure this out, people. They've been lying to you long enough. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that every single ever celebrity and government person just happens to be doing this and the devil horns because it's fun and cute for picture's sake only. Come on. Entertainment only, all coincidence.
Okay, so what is she pushing right now besides some things that do make a lot of sense? She's also is pushing that it is Israel out for Charlie Kirk said. Of course, they never talk about the Jesuits, but hey.
Discord has come out to tell us that the feds are lying about Charlie Kirk's death. Something a lot of us suspect. But what exactly does she mean? Then right after she posts this, Charlie Kirk was fighting with some very powerful billionaires that he took money from over things he was discussing. Does this mean Israel? What are we talking about here? The pressure on him was immense over the last 2 weeks. The truth will be revealed, the messages will be leaked, and the movement he built will rise up. And then we saw Charlie Kirk's wife giving that message about these widows' cries will echo around the world like a battle cry, something like that, right? And I heard that. I felt like she was giving some cryptic message about like some unknown organization. I'm trying to follow a pattern here. Then she posts 2 days ago, Satan's children can hardly contain themselves. The mere idea of murder excites them, right? Okay. Then this David Freeman says to her, you're not Charlie's friend, you hate Israel, he loved Israel, you hate the Jewish people, blah, 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 blah. And she responds, David, do not make me release the correspondence me and Charlie had about you recently. I said...
It's a bit complicated and honestly just a bunch of BS. I don't think it was just
She's coming after the truth, and if the truth includes you, she's coming for you too. Candace Owens took to her Instagram stories on Saturday, September 12th with the message, they are telling us the sniper quickly disassembled the weapon, put the weapon in his backpack, and ran off the roof.
Okay, that we can agree with. That we can agree with.
Here's a quick clip.
I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us.
At 9:04 a.m. on September 11th, Candace tweeted, who called the hit on Charlie? We need answers. At 10:20 p.m. on September 11th, Candace said the feds immediately interjected and took who lied about the contents of the letter Charlie wrote to him in May. It was a lie by severe omission, and it isn't sitting right with me. He held the letter in.
So she is blaming basically Bibi Netanyahu. And basically, I think she is pushing the fact that it was Israel. I mean, that's clearly what she's trying to push. But again, she's a Mason. She's controlled. If she's, she's mainstream. She really is. Everybody knows who Candace Owens is. So if the mainstream is pushing a story, you have to second guess it. And look, I'm not fond of what Israel does, but I'm more not fond of the other side of the coin. So I think the problem here lies that they're trying to rile up not just the left, but also the right and the centrists to hate Israel. But that's not the full story, because we know that Turning Point equals the Jesuit order. So why is the Catholic Church getting scot-free of this? And I just found a connection that his wife, again, equals gatekeeper. So I'll share with you that, because I knew that she's a Jesuit, and I knew she's suspicious, and again, she is now the CEO of Turning Point, so even more eyes are going to be on her. So here's the fact that she matches Gatekeeper, right? Erika Kirk, Gatekeeper. I honestly do believe it is the Illuminati Jesuit Masonic alliance. It's not just the Jesuits, it's a Mason Illuminati alliance. It's a Mason Jesuit Illuminati alliance. I don't think it's just Israel. I think Israel is a scapegoat, an easy scapegoat, because they made the evidence quite clear that he was trying to resist Israel or whatever. But again, I think that story is too cheap. I think it's too obvious that it's being spread in the mainstream, and it's not the whole story. So this is the real villains of the story. They are always got their brand on what they do, on their false flags, and they're never in the mainstream. Nobody talks about them except truth speakers. Not a single mainstream person is bringing up the Jesuits and their connection to the Illuminati. Not a single person. So that's when you know, if there's all these clues, but not the mainstream is not talking about it, that's when you know that actually might be closer to the truth than what we're being told by these gatekeeper Freemasons. Anyway, across the pond, we also have more Jesuit orders spilling over. So Trump's state visit, yes, they call it a state visit. I literally took that out of a BBC headline. So Trump's state visit. And, you know, we have someone in our Discord server who's just talking about how all the US presidents are linked to King John, and King John of England back in the 1100s to 1200s was the king that basically gave power to the Catholic Church. He bent over and accepted the Catholic Church. So, and that's what all the US presidents are linked to, or most of them. That's suspicious. And we know that there is 3 independent city-states in the world. There's the Vatican, it's the Vatican, Washington, D.C., and London, right? So he is in London. So the first thing is obviously that, you know, Trump and Epstein match, and the Trump protesters were playing Epstein on the on their entrance to England. So I made a little video.
Coincidences don't exist. Trump equals Epstein in English ordinal, where A equals 1, B equals 2, and C equals 3, and so on. Try it on our calculator at cyphers.news. Guess what else equals Trump?
They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Why are they pushing this number so hard? Bruh. Coincidences don't exist.
Right, so again, there's that story circulating, and it's so... I'm actually quite proud of England for doing this. This is the protesters. This is actually great. This is probably the best form of protest I've seen in a while. So that's Windsor Castle. So they were projecting this right as he arrived, which is so funny. And I mean, it's sad that these protesters did get I don't know if they served jail time, but they did get arrested. So that's that. And then we played that. There was even this like protester that went into the dining room. Okay, it's too loud. So anyway, protesters disrupt dinner celebrating Trump. So that's wild. I mean, I'm just glad that there's some form of free speech left in England. But other than that, everybody's talking about Melania's hat and how she just looks incredibly embarrassed, and we're not really sure why. I mean, obviously because she just saw Trump and Epstein, but she also got the Epstein visa. Is that rumor true that Trump and Melania met through Epstein? But this hat is weird, and I did find one match about this hat. I couldn't find all that much. So I'm not sure if you guys have found something better. But yeah, hiding behind a hat, oversized, and conspiracy. And we do know that purple's like, oh! How did I not? Of course, that's why it's a purple hat. Oh wow, look at that. That's such a like obvious little pun there. Everybody's talking about how Melania is embarrassed, so she's hiding behind the hat, and it's oversized, and there's a conspiracy that she's hiding because she's ashamed of Trump and Epstein. Meanwhile, purple equals Trump. Oh my god, it's like, oh, everything's so scripted. This is kind of a joke to lighten the mood if it'll play. Oh, it won't. But anyway, this is the official photo. Look at that. That's... Ah! Oh, sorry. Didn't know. There we go. Yeah, look at that. I mean, seriously. She's just trolling. She's just out here trolling. Okay, so the next thing I do want to play that video. Let me try to open it. Yeah, it's just basically a mockery of like, out of all the hats you could pick, really that one? And of course she's just purple Trump, whatever. All right, so the next thing that's happening is that there is basically this tech oligarchy meeting at Windsor Castle. 200 billion nuclear and AI deal, no big deal, right?
Behind closed doors, Tim Cook, Jensen Huang, Sam Altman, and some of the wealthiest tech and finance billionaires in the world all just flew to the Windsor Castle to meet with Donald Trump and King Charles. And this wasn't just a fancy royal dinner, because what's unfolding here is a multi-hundred-billion-dollar play that could redefine who controls the future of AI, energy, and global powers. And here's exactly what's happening. The UK has just secured over $200 billion in investment pledges from US companies as part of this state visit, and in return, the two nations have signed a tech prosperity deal to deepen cooperation in areas like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nuclear energy. So essentially, the deal is an exchange of cash for technology, and it seems like a win-win for both sides. Because for the US, it means American tech giants get a bigger foothold in Europe and billions in new contracts without relying on taxpayer money. And for the UK, it's about pulling in a record wave of American capital, creating thousands of jobs, and positioning London as a new hub for AI.
Okay, boring. But it is kind of weird to see these like all the biggest names meet in St. George Hall, which just happens to equal Donald J. Trump. And they make this extravagant ballroom banquet for him. I mean, royals, MAGA, and tech CEOs. And these are some of the names, like Tim Cook from Apple. He's right there. There's King Charles, Melania. And there's a few more that you'll recognize. NVIDIA boss, UK Prime Minister, OpenAI boss Sam Altman, Meta tycoon Rupert Murdoch. One weird thing is that the royal family matches Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, matches mind control in 3 Cyphers. But also Trump and King Charles III do have that World Economic Forum number, which is also the inside job false flag number. So not really sure what's going on here. Building up the special relationship. Oh, and Jimmy Kimmel, of course, this whole attack on freedom of speech that no side should be cheering on. Because I'll play it, it's not even that bad what he said. But basically, he gets suspended on September 17th, which leaves 105 days remaining. Charlie Kirk masonry. So just another scripted ritual, part of the Masonic programming. And now Trump is joking about taking other comedians down if they dare criticize him. So we're just possibly at the snowball effect. But here is the joke that got him taken off air.
Over the weekend, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And
by the way, the fact that he just name dropped President Xi, like, it's no big deal. You guys know that's the dictator of China that calls himself president for life. Why is he talking about, like, making sure President Xi is, like, okay? Like, bro, you're just talking about a dictator. President Xi, like, he's not a F-bomb, but, like, he's not a president, bro. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. He is a dictator. President Xi, dictator Xi. And he is just gloating about, like, making sure that this dictator can use the lawn when it's raining. Like, what, bro? Like,
it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he was dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces, you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean, who thinks like that? And why are we building a $200 million ballroom in the White? Is it possible that he's doing it intentionally so we could be bad about that instead of the Epstein list? By the time he's out of office, the White House will have slot machines and a water slide. Trump is in major change the subject mode. On Friday, he stopped by the always friendly morning crew at Fox. Whenever Trump goes on Fox and Friends, it's funny because the hosts are so eager for him to be reasonable. They spell it all out for him. They desperately want to avoid having a nod along with anything crazy or controversial.
Okay, I think what we can all agree with is, like, that was not bad. He was not criticizing or making fun of Charlie at all. He was making fun of Trump. But this has been a long legal battle with trying to get this channel down. So I think it was exacerbated by a lot of legal issues beyond this comment. This comment was kind of like the tipping point, because there was this whole merger going on and they wanted to get him off the air for a while. So should we be alarmed? I don't know per se, but there is a new recent comment from Trump. And again, Jimmy Kimmel, taken down by the numbers, just another Mason, just another gatekeeper, But still, it is just sad to mourn freedom of speech being taken away. But yeah, here it says Donald Trump suggests networks that cover him negatively should maybe have their license away. And we always know when he's joking about something, it's because they're testing the waters to see how the public reacts. I think this is what
just said on camera that late night comedians are not allowed to criticize him. And please, to all of the Republicans,
That's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you, everybody.
what the hell is this guy talking about? They're not allowed to do that. Yes, they are. It's called the First Amendment. I know that Donald Trump has never read the entire Constitution. What the hell is this guy talking about? They're not allowed.
Take a look.
Sorry, I just wanted to hit Trump. I think that's his quote. Let me just put that in. Not allowed to hit Trump. Such a weird phrase. I bet that's coded. I can't figure it out. Oh wow, I just found another 105 in my data dump. Charlie Kirk equals FBI text. You know how everybody's just saying that those texts were FBI generated. FBI text 105. But anyway, yeah, so who knows? I mean, probably the liberal media is also pushing propaganda too. And obviously Candace, she's probably one of the most neutral gatekeepers out right now. I think they are trying to make her be appeasable to most. So I don't have anything against her right now other than she's just pushing the wrong conclusions about the conspiracy. And then just this, like, how would you like control freedom of speech? Oh god, these links are all messed up. But how would you like the control of internet speech draft and anti-terrorism or protect the kids? So that about wraps it up with these gatekeepers. But yeah, I just couldn't believe, like, I think a lot of you that came in here in the chat were kind of popping off about it. You guys were here. I might just go back and reread the chat really quick. Let me put it in. I'm gonna put it in on top. I am gonna put the chat on and scroll up for a second, because I want to read what was being said. Hold on. It's basically the end of the stream. I just curious about what the comments are saying. I think today is the first time I've ever gotten people like some of you guys, not the regulars, but just some of the ones who are new, trying to say that this work is just, or you guys are struggling to understand it. So I kind of want to see. I'm just popping up the chat now. Okay, and then I'm gonna add it to the stream really quick. Okay. Okay, so this is the first comment. Sorry. So whoever this is, was saying, you're evil, she's functioning because she's strong and the wife of a lion. I bet you don't know the fact that Jesus equals 74. And they met, what was it? I'm gonna pull up the calculator. They had the date on September, the first date was September 5th, 2018. And they started dating really September 6th officially. And they bonded over Jesus. So 7 years, 4 days, right? Jesus. Masonic Jesus. So that's weird, right? I think if you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you should probably know numerology and these kinds of things to understand the Bible better, because actually the Bible is encoded with gematria. Actually, the Bible was translated from Hebrew, which was encoded with gematria. And yeah, even the King James Bible, which is probably the most sourced Bible for Christians, they had a team of 40 translators translating Hebrew and Greek for the Old and New Testament. And they were cryptographers. So even in the 1600s, the Christians were cryptographers, meaning they were encoding the English Bible with gematria and ciphers. So I think if you're a Christian and you don't look into numerology and gematria, I think that's really ignorant. Like really, really ignorant. Like you gotta be a very, very, very shallow researcher, even in the Bible, to just read it in plain text without looking deeper, because even the numbers are meaningful. Even the numbers are meaningful within like the years that certain people live in the Bible and things like that. So it's not a step that far from going into gematria. You know what I mean? Anyway, so by proxy, if you're Christian, you should also be a gematria decoder, and you should apply your knowledge that you've learned from decoding the Bible into the news, and then you should use that to discern if the media is lying to you. And then you should use that to discern if people like Charlie and his wife were really Christian, because you saw that video play out where he said, and these are his words, that Charlie Kirk said on live stream, saying that he would like to see public executions. So how is that Christian? I really want Jesus Christ as Lord to tell me why I'm evil when you're defending a Freemason who has scripted pre-programming, who's also a rich person with a very wealthy family, saying those kind of things on the internet and defending them. I think that's all I got to say to Jesus Christ as Lord. Didn't you hear about taking his name in vain? I don't really know if someone supporting Charlie Kirk should really be using the username Jesus Christ as Lord, but hey. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean anyway. I do value that you've got your own opinion. It's just I wanted to address it because I don't like being called evil, and I wanted to defend that myself. Charlie Kirk went straight to heaven because he believed Jesus Christ died for his sins. Yeah, well, obviously we don't know if he died. We don't know, and I'm not saying like the evidence is clear, like, hey, there was all this imagery about his bodyguards doing these hand signals, pulling strings, probably a blood packet hiding under his t-shirt, the shooter like being the impossible reality of that one shot. The fact that even Candace Owens said that the camera behind him, there was no blood. The fact that there was no blood gushing out of him as he's being carried away. His waxy mannequin hands in the casket, and how his wife could barely hold back her laughter 48 hours later. That's not conclusive evidence to say that he didn't die, right? Who actually knows? We're not saying that we actually know. I don't think any of us decoders are saying that. It's just suspicious, the whole Valhalla comment as well. But if he did die, who's to say he did or he didn't? So, yeah. And again, I don't condone what happened. Even if it was fake, even if it was real, don't condone it. And I do feel sorry that anybody had to go through that. That is really sad, even if it was fake. So I do agree with you. Shannon says, you must not know Jesus. That's very sad. I hope you find your way to him. I think I just broke down again what Jesus means in Gematria. Jesus 74, Gematria 74. So I think I know Jesus. And again, I am a Christian. I might be a Gnostic Christian, but I'm still a Christian. I think I've already covered that one. That's funny. Because you can't take a first date to McDonald's unless you're Trump. Scripted life, scripted death. Yeah, I agree with you, GG. Oh. What the heck? Candace Owens, she pops out certain things every now and again, but yeah, she has limited hangout, yeah. Still think it was a hoax, says Gus. It was a ritual, it was a Masonic ritual. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, it was a Masonic ritual. I do like to play the advocate whenever I'm talking with someone who doesn't believe it's a ritual, just to, you know, try to see it from their point of view, but absolutely, it's just so obvious. A ritual. And then we're just back at the end. I did get a nice comment here. Oh, let me just push it up because it was a nice comment. So thank you. I can bring it up. Thanks for your work. I'm catching up and really enjoyed the Ozzy video. Oh, that's awesome. I've actually been watching a lot of the Osbournes after. I'm becoming like such an Ozzy fan, like even more so. And Debbie wants the last word. Shut up, please. The man was murdered in front of you. You probably believe that 9/11 was real. Look, I lived in China. Okay? Just throwing that out there. So I have a critical mind because I lived under for 3 years of my high school life under an authoritarian government where there was a dictator and where all media had to be approved by a dictator in order to be shown to you. So I lived under the presumption that I have to question absolutely every shred of evidence, okay? And I'm saying that a lot of us are like this without having even to live in China, but I just got that radical experience of having to go through that. So, Debbie, I'm not sure, but I'm throwing this out there that you probably haven't lived in a country where media is scrubbed, media is scripted, and they will fabricate evidence to give to the masses to push an agenda. China does it. North Korea does it. Why wouldn't you think that other countries do it? Why wouldn't you think that other countries do it? Okay, I also happen to be a telecommunications major. I went to a great university in the United States for public communications. Debbie, I'm not kidding you. One of my first classes was about how 7 corporations own all of US media. 7 corporations. It's probably only 6 now. And they were telling us, even they were telling us, that the media shouldn't be trusted because they are all bought out. And that the media is another branch of government. So this is coming from even an official college in the United States. So this is basic knowledge. This is basic information. Then you go to a history class and you start learning about false flags. But all of a sudden, none of that's relative, and we should just believe, A, we should just believe what we see on the media. B, we shouldn't even look up the word false flag because that's voodoo. And C, we should just trust what the media tells us, even though you go to a basic college in year 1 and they tell you not to trust the media. It's like, make it make sense. So yeah, if there's all these clues and evidence in front of you, we saw all of it. We've seen all of it. Catch my last video, catch the intro to this. There's so much evidence that it was staged, that it was scripted, numerology or not. The videos themselves were sketchy. So yeah, that's why you gotta have a critical mind. You gotta realize that not everything you see that is on mainstream media is factual. And just because they show something, and man, it's like, that's the definition of a false flag. Make you believe that it was one thing so that they can accomplish an agenda. In this case, they're trying to make everybody believe that that was real. You're trying to make everybody believe that that was real. Conspiracy theorists aren't buying it. A lot of the left or the right are not buying it. It's the normies that are buying it. And the normies are being told now through other gatekeepers like Candace that it's Israel. So now this whole like movement is just brewing based off of this false flag operation that they pushed. And it seems like it's brewing into this ugly civil rights and civil war discourse. So yeah, that's exactly the agenda that they wanted to accomplish by doing this false flag, making people believe that it was either real or it was done by Israel, but probably neither are true. It wasn't just one country that did this. In fact, if it was any country that did this, it was probably the Vatican in conjunction with the United States. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, honestly, if you have any other questions, I am willing to hear them out. I think I was where you guys were at some point, so I do want to try to see it from your perspective. Probably, I would say like 10 years ago. Let's see, 2020, Yeah, I'd say like 10 years ago, I was probably a lot more closed off to this. And I probably would have thought that things were as they seem. But now that I'm on the other side, have gone through, the major thing that woke me up was Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. It just takes one event for you to finally click that, oh my God, they're not telling us the truth. The government is willing to lie to us on a major scale. For a lot of people, it was 9/11, Sandy Hook, the scamdemic. And now a lot of people are going to wake up because of Charlie Kirk. So, in any case, I think that it is really sad, and it's really sad again that people that are pushing for the end of censorship, for the end of free speech because of this. But on the flip side, also the horrible people that are cheering violence on, which is ironic because it's a lot of people are saying it's from the left, but then we heard all that commentary that even Charlie himself said that was violent rhetoric. So we can see it's like both sides have this violent tendency right now, and it's not good. So it is really sad. But I do think that there is some positivity. A lot of people are waking up and asking questions, and a lot of us truth seekers have been able to keep a very neutral stance. So not only neutral, but also peaceful stance on this. So anyway, cheers, peace out, have a great weekend, and I'll